The 4-day fast track course offered by Alpha Dog Training is a great way to train your dog to incredibly high standards that simply couldn't be achieved with other dog training methods, even for dogs that have serious behavioural issues. Your instructors are friendly and experienced and capable of clearly explaining and demonstrating the methods being taught by showing how they are relevant to building a better relationship with your dog. Their own well-trained and behaved dogs are on constant show throughout the course and serve as an inspiration as to what can be achieved with the methods being taught. We call this important instructor standard leading by example. The course is broken down into informative lectures and discussions and hands-on workshops, teaching owners the fundamentals of Alpha's reward-based methods that translate into impressive results from the very first session. Owners are always amazed by the speed in which their dogs can learn to listen when distracted, but this is just the beginning. The leadership obedience exercises taught and refined on the course go way beyond the exercises themselves, ultimately leading to a more useful and generalised language that can be used in non-obedience situations. The dogs are taught specific but different tones of praise to convey important guidance during their obedience training, so we can achieve much needed reliability for each exercise under distraction. However, we have a much more practical and global objective for training this way. We call this Alpha developed communication process canine cognitive tonal conditioning, and is taking the concepts of generalization and consistency in dog training to entirely new and exciting levels of relevance, particularly when applied in day-to-day scenarios where the dogs are often not practicing any obedience at all, when random control is suddenly and very much required. By the end of day 2, we have taught all the obedience exercises, and now the owners are introduced to canine good behaviour shaping, with a detailed lecture on canine behavioural principles that have come from working with thousands of owners and their dogs in their own homes, not from disjointed academic theories that are far too often irrelevant in real life scenarios. This is where all the fundamentals learned in the obedience are taken to the next important stage, off-lead control in the form of much needed doggy manners. This is all possible thanks to another Alpha developed learning principle that is active throughout the entire learning process. We call it precedent of learning. Because the obedience standards are so high and reliable under distraction, the dogs learn to learn. They learn to listen and understand the learning process. The praise becomes so powerful because of another Alpha developed learning principle, reinforcement contrast effect, teaching owners how to contrast both positive and negative reinforcement to create a positive correction process that helps to teach the dogs the difference between acceptable and unacceptable behaviour, in the moment as it happens. The dogs understand the different tones of praise, and they understand the contrasting correction process that guides them to more acceptable behavioural choices that are then clearly and positively reinforced and rewarded. Praise and reward are the dominant principles in this process, and the rate at which the dogs learn, thanks to precedent of learning, is exciting to say the least. These owners have taught their dogs to listen and to follow their lead over the first 3 days of the course. Those first 3 days of training are conducted at our huge indoor dog training and daycare facility. However, the 4th day of training is strategically relocated to take place at our 10-acre dog boarding and training facility. Having 2 locations to teach the owners and to train the dogs allows us to consolidate the learning process in completely different surroundings where we can create new and stimulating training scenarios. The 2nd location also has a dedicated classroom, an indoor training facility, plus plenty of open spaces and the added distraction of chickens, sheep, ponies and other dogs. Despite the distractions, the dogs handle the new environment with relative ease, thanks to all the foundation training from the first 3 days. Many of the owners attending the course are often amazed at how much new control they have over their dogs when working around other animals. Previous experiences have not been great, and in some cases they have been told by other experts that the chasing or predatory behaviour would never be curbed. However, As we've proven time and time again, clear and positive leadership based on balanced and reward-based methods allows owners to guide their dogs through some of the most difficult behavioural issues that are often too difficult for other methods to manage or rehabilitate. The 4-day Fast Track course is a great choice for those seeking an alternative to weekly classes, boarding school or private tuition, and the standards achieved are an excellent starting point for developing positive leadership and control that can be turned on if and when required in the common and distracting situations that affect all dog owners on a daily basis. To that end, the training on this course is aimed at both the prevention and rehabilitation of serious canine behavioural issues such as aggression, fear, anxiety, and uncontrollable overexcitability. We've had great success in helping many owners of dogs showing these problem behaviours over the years, and this course is a great start to the training and rehabilitation process with many genuinely positive outcomes achieved over the 4-day period.